Okay, so hi everybody, and thanks for joining us today. We have visitors from all over the world with us, and I'd really like to thank you all for taking the time to join in. And we all actually understand that time is your most valuable asset, and we really appreciate you investing it in us. Today we'll be talking about two-way messaging and marketing, going over what goes into two-way messaging, how to use it in general, and how Infobits can help. Before we get started, I'd just like to say a few words about who we are and what we do. And just how we're positioned globally and what makes us an authority on two-way messaging. But first, with us today is Infobits' own Filip Ivanishevich, an expert on two-way.
Hello, everybody.
And myself, Tomislav Krebzel. So this is what Infobits looks like in numbers as we power your mobile world. 150,000 business accounts and growing, more than 300 active operator partnerships, 190 countries covered all over the globe, and 34 offices worldwide, with 22 more opening in 2015 and 2016. As for our growth, displayed on these graphs is our growth in billions of mobile transactions through our platform from our start back in 2006 and through to the present day. So more than 20 billion transactions yearly, and I think we're set to reach new heights in 2015. The number of Infobippers has grown in a similar trend to our yearly traffic, and currently there are more than 600 of us in the world, all around the world. The takeaway here actually is that our global growth has helped us to better understand the needs of our clients and their markets, and thanks to this we've tailored our services and products to suit these exact same needs. It's put us in a position to share more about two-way, and especially two-way couponing, which is growing on the market, and this is actually one of the main reasons for today's webinar. As for Infobits in the market and in the mobile ecosystem, this is basically just how we're positioned. So messages flow in through one of three ways: through companies that have their own IT services and IT people on their payroll. They connect via API, via SMTP, HTTP, or other protocols. Directly into the IP core, which is Infobits' brain. Other users can connect via our web application, and the third option is where we actually latch onto the user ourselves with our end gate, and we actually become hardwired into your own setup. So anything that comes in through one of these three directions goes through the IP core and gets delivered either to operators and to subscribers, either through direct SMTP and HTTP binds to the operators, or over SS7, AA60, AA63 agreements, or push notifications which get delivered directly. Messages can flow in both directions, however, back from the subscribers, and this is what brings us to what is two-way messaging. And Filip, you have the floor now, so take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tomislav, for this introduction. And basically, when we are talking about two-way messaging, just to explain it is just over some kind of reality shows that we all know about, for example, Big Brother or Voice or some other live show. In Big Brother, we have a group of people in the house for some period of time, and the spectators of this television show need to send a certain message for a certain candidate, let's say Alan, to get
on or off, yeah.
Yeah, to stay in the house or leave the house. Now, this is a really good example of MO message. So the message going from the mobile subscriber, mobile phone owner to the application, to Big Brother application of some TV house. Now, this is one way of initiating two-way. So from the mobile phone owner. The other way is from TV house, that organized Big Brother, to send a message. This can be empty initiated. So when it comes to the mobile phone owner, and the mobile phone owner just replies back by giving the feedback how they like the show. Mm-hmm. So we like to call it a human side of messaging, because then the clients can communicate with their customers. Okay, so if we go on this next slide, is just to show you an overview how two-way can be used. So it can be used for different marketing campaigns, loyalty programs, voting, subscriptions, reminders, etc. But also something that is not mentioned here, we have different cases from finance sector. For example, banks giving an option for their clients to check their balance or to check last 5 transactions, or logistic companies where we have drivers sending an MO message to report that the parcel is delivered, etc. So just to show you that two-way is really used anywhere where some kind of two-way interaction is needed.
Okay.
Now, we will start from the theory of two-way, how can it be performed, then we are going to present how two-way functions in practice, and then we are also going to show you some of our tools that helps the marketers. So let us start from this first slide is how to perform the two-way. So there are two numbers that are used to perform two-way campaigns. The first are virtual long numbers. So the virtual long numbers have 11 or 12 digits. They can receive messages from all partners of the MNO. So this is a bit confusing when we explain this to our clients. So basically, let's say that we are in United Kingdom and O2 gives us the virtual long number. On this virtual long number, we can receive the messages from all the subscribers inside UK. Okay, so no matter on what MNO they are, they can receive those messages. Also, one important characteristic is that the end user who is sending this MO message to that virtual number is charged a standard peer-to-peer rate for message, and also it's a cheaper solution than shortcodes. Now, we also have the shortcodes that are generally 4 to 6 digits long, but you know there are different examples around the world. So this is an average. We also have an example, for example, in China, and China has a super long codes that have 18 digits, but this is something that is more, you know, out of the regular. Also, one important characteristic of shortcodes is that if we are again in United Kingdom, and if we have O2 giving us the shortcode, we can only get messages from O2 subscribers. So if we want to cover the whole market, we need to go directly to every MNO to give us this shortcode to use. And also, the end user, in this case, can be charged either a standard rated SMS like we have the case with virtual long numbers, or it can be free for the end user, or it can be a premium one. I use the example of Big Brother, and Big Brother is a good case because if someone wants to vote for we said Alan to get out of the house, then he needs to pay some extra fee, some premium price of that message. Afterwards, that message then, you know, the price of that message is split between the MNOs. And also shortcodes are generally more expensive than virtual long numbers. So generally shortcodes are more easier to remember, more known to the public, so this is why they're more expensive.
That's well, one thing that just came across. So what would the typical applications be for a virtual long number as opposed to a short code? And another thing is legislature. Is there a specific legislature regulating this per country, or how does this work?
Actually, that's a really good question, and this question is a good introduction to the slides that we are going to have later on. Basically, virtual long numbers are mostly used, even though it's not the only case, of course, for the opt-outs. So if we have, for example, they want to send an empty message to their spectators, in that moment, the spectators can have two options, either to, for example, you know, to say, yes, I like the show, you know, so let's call it a survey again. And the other thing can be, you know, send stop, I don't want to receive these messages anymore. So virtual long numbers are good in this case. So when you have some kind of marketing campaign, just to use it as an opt-out option. But generally, virtual long numbers can be used for any kind of campaign if the client doesn't have enough resources to buy a dedicated shortcode that can be more expensive.
It's still a good marketing avenue.
Still good marketing. And one other thing is that virtual long numbers are not used in the whole world. They're only offered mostly in North America, Europe, some parts of Asia Pacific, some parts of Africa, while short codes are used worldwide.
I see. I see. Okay. So thanks for that.
No problem.
So now on to the next slide. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is one thing that we need to be aware of, and these are the types of senders. Something that will write to on the top of the message of the mobile phone owner when the message is received. So again, if we are going back to the Big Brother story, and if we have a TV house sending a message to the spectators asking, how do you like the show? In that moment, this sender needs to be numeric, so we cannot have an alphanumeric, whether it's a long number or a short code, because if it is an alphanumeric, then the subscribers or the spectators or the mobile phone owners will not be able to reply directly to that number.
I see.
For the long number and the short code, the receivers of that message will be able to reply directly on that number.
I see. So if I'm a marketer and I want my brand used as the sender, will I get a reply?
Well, actually, this reply will not reach us. So the MNO will not forward this reply. It will reach the MNO platform, but then, it will stop there.
Okay. All right. That's understandable enough.
Okay. So if I need to stress one slide, this would be it. So the key questions that a client needs to ask when starting with some kind of a two-way campaign. The first and most important is to even start talking about some campaigns, whether this message traffic is allowed in that country. So this is the most important question. In some countries, virtual long numbers are not allowed for marketing purposes. Then, can my provider support special characters in a message? We have a lot of clients that had issues, for example, with other providers. They received, let's say, virtual number for Thailand, and they thought by default that this number is supporting special characters, but it was not the case. So this is why they had issues, and this is why we always check first, okay, do you need special characters, and we need to check whether our solution enables these special characters. Then, can my provider support special regulations in the country? Now, also really important case, I can also explain that on an example of Kenya, for example, where for every message sent from the client side to their customers, to the mobile phone owners, so for every message MT, there needs to be an opt-out option inside the message. So, for example, stop, I don't want to receive these messages. Now, what happens then? If the mobile phone owner answers stop, and if he receives another empty message, then this is considered a spam. So this is why clients need to be careful about that, and they need to have a provider that will be able to blacklist those numbers. Can a provider sustain a huge volume campaigns? Of course, this is really important. If you have a huge volume campaigns, you want these campaigns to be delivered, and you want them to be delivered in some time that you schedule it for.
Yeah.
Of course. Another question is, do I have approval from my customer to send them empty messages? Really, really important question. Is your list filled with opt-ins of the receivers? Because if it's not, then again you are risking a potential spam. And in the end, do we have a proper reporting system that will enable us to track our return on investment? What does it mean just to send MT? What is that telling? Nothing. So there needs to be some kind of a reporting tool that will tell you, okay, I have sent those messages are successfully delivered or not, and I had this many MOs, so messages coming from the mobile phone owners to us, and this is the time of the day when they send it. So the return on investment can be tracked.
Tracked and improved for future campaigns.
For sure. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah.
So how about some practical applications of two-way? I think we have a pretty good example.
Yeah, sure. I always like these practical examples, to show these practical examples after the theory part. And what I'm going to present you firstly is Nestle campaign, that we had in South Africa with the TLC. So TLC is a global marketing agency working with Nestle, and what they need is a two-way service for their coupon activities in South Africa. Now, Nestle had a certain coupon on every bottle in the store, and the case was imagined that when a customer comes to the store, he buys a bottle, and then he sends the code to Nestle, and then Nestle, after getting all these codes, choose a lucky winner. Now, first of all, TLC organized the whole campaign. They needed someone who is going to be a provider of telecommunication services. So they needed us to give them the shortcodes, first of all. So the campaign was performed over shortcodes. And second of all, we also have this logic for coupon checking. So every time when some coupon was sent to us from the bottle, we checked whether it's already used or not. If it was used, we send a message back, sorry, this one is used. Or if it wasn't used, okay, this is your code, you're now participating in Word Winning competition.
Thanks for entering, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for entering. So this is basically the first case that I wanted to talk about. And the second case is the one that we currently have in the Emirates. And actually I really love this case. I really think it's brilliant. What is happening there? So we have a fast-moving consumer good company, and what they did is some kind of competition among their customers. So the more you buy, the more chance you have to win an award. So it's not the same if you buy half a liter, 1 liter, 2 liter of some beverage.
Buy big, get big points.
Yeah, buy big points. And we had coupons that had different values. So as I said, half a liter, you get, for example, 2 points. And we send back empty message. Now you have 2 points, and in total you have 10 points. But if you bought something that is 2 liter bottle, then you would get back an empty. You have received 10 points, for example. Now your total point number is, for example, 100. But not only that, what I really liked about this competition is that in case you're not there from the beginning, so you're not collecting these big points from the beginning, you can also participate in an instant awards. For example, you buy a bottle and you send a code, and you can get, for example, a tablet or a television. So even though you're not there from the beginning, even though you're not buying like crazy,
you can still win.
Perfect. I really like this example. And again, we are the ones that have the whole logic of the coupons. So we are the one that get the coupon. We can also generate them for the client. And we are also the one tracking and counting all the coupons.
And we can do this just for this specific one, or we can do that for anyone.
Yeah, so we can also do it for other needs, for other clients. So this is just an example, a really good one, I would say. So just an example for us to understand how the coupon service can be used.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, I think it's time to create a campaign, get one launched.
Yeah, so this part shows how Infobits can assist here. Now, when some kind of a campaign needs to be, we said, so what is we explained a bit the theory of two-way, we show there is some short codes, we show there are some virtual long numbers. So now it's the time to show how this really functions over our tools. So basically we have this front end, as you already mentioned in the beginning, that can be used for some kind of campaign creation. And we enable both this client to mobile phone owner initiated conversation, or from a mobile phone owner to the client initiated SMS conversation, two-way conversation. We can also schedule those campaigns. We can also define some time delivery options, just not to avoid some collision with regulations. We can create the messages personalized to get better feedback, better engagement from the ones receiving the messages. And so let us now take an example of, if we have Nestle, in South Africa. Nestle wanted to, again, this is just an example, so not the real figures. So if they want to send an empty, they want to send a bulk empty campaign, informing their customers, we have something new, we have discount. If you want to try it and get the discount, send us discount. If you want to opt out from this campaign, send stop. Now, there are some key things that Nestle in this case needs to follow. First, as shown on this figure, is the number of messages that were sent, delivery rate, delivery time, and we also show the industry average delivery rate. So Nestle can now see how they compare with other campaigns that we have around the world for our clients. So this is our client's industry average delivery rate. So this is the empty part. Now, if we go further, now if we go further, we also need to do an analysis of MO traffic. So one part of two-way campaign is this sending to the mobile phone owners. The other part is from mobile phone owners to the client's application. Now, on this map we can see that there is 81 MO received, 41 unique subscribers, so 41 clients, mobile phone owners sending an MO to the application, and 25 of them sent more than one MO. And what is really good about this is when you look at the opt-out count, so you can see that there is no opt-outs.
Yeah.
So that means that the campaign was successful, and your subscribers, your customers, customers, they want to receive this kind of messages. So this is what's really important.
To keep them coming back and to keep them interested and engaged.
Of course, yeah. And also what we offer is in-campaign analytics. So in case Nestle, when they did this kind of promotion, they can check on campaign based how many people opted out, how many people opted in. They can see the percentages. And what I really think it's cool is to see this MO most active time of the day. Now, what is that all about? You can see that, for example, on Monday in 7 o'clock, there were the receivers of the messages, the mobile phone owners, were most active. Now, this gives us a good input that Monday, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock is a good time where we can target those mobile phone owners.
It's when they're at their most responsive, yeah.
They're most responsive there, and we saw we had 0 opt-outs, so this is good. And that means that they are most responsive at that time. We can shuttle the campaign. We can create on our front end, we can create what will be the part of the day when we are going to send the messages. So I think this is a really, really good tool, not only to give us the option to create campaigns and to send them, but also to track them. What is a really important part that we mentioned on that, I would say, key slide is how to check the return on investment. I think this is a good start.
One thing that comes to mind is, can users customize their reporting here?
Yeah, they can, there is this part, we only showed the part of our front end. So there is much more, of course.
Okay.
And we just show maybe 15% of everything. So there are custom reports that we have by any, option they want, characteristic they want, custom graphs that clients can create. So there is much more, and this can be seen. We will, on the follow-up email, we are going to share the link to our front end, to this new portal, so our listeners can only check what this is all about.
So we've just scratched the surface of what we can do.
Just scratched the surface, yeah.
Okay. All right, so I guess it's time for questions. I will have to check the board to see if anything's come in. Well, we have one question from Dennis. Dennis asks, can I use my short code anywhere in the world?
Well, actually, thank you, Dennis, for this question. A really, really good one, and I forgot to mention this earlier on when I was talking about shortcodes. So shortcodes have a specific characteristic we mentioned, so in average 4 to 6 digit long, and they are missing this country code and network code. So for example, if we are talking about UK, the country code is 44. So the shortcode can be used only for subscribers of that specific MNO. for example, O2 in UK. It cannot be used. I cannot use, for example, my mobile phone to send to that short code because I'm not a subscriber of O2 in UK. But also important to mention that virtual numbers have the same format as my phone number in my pocket. So they have the country code, they have the network code, and this number can receive message from anywhere in the world if the MNO that gives the virtual number has the roaming agreement with that specific operator.
I see.
Yeah, so it is normally the case, not always, but normally it is.
Okay, thanks. Anders asks, how do coupons work? So,
okay, yeah, so it is, depends how you, what was the name again, sorry?
Anders.
Anders, thank you for that question. And basically the imagination here is the only limit. So basically we have the logic of coupons on our side. So we can do, now we can do a lot of stuff, whether you want us just to check if the coupons are valid or not. Let's take, for example, you have a campaign and you have coupons generated in some kind of Excel. You can give us this Excel and then we can just check whether these coupons are used or not. Now this is the first option. We can also generate some kind of vouchers. So you want for everyone that sends one coupon, for example 1234, we can send back the message, thank you for your coupon, you will get 10% discount with voucher XYZ. So this can also be done. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I have a question from Ransford who asks if there is a limit to the number of transactions that, that can be received. How does that work?
Okay, number of transactions, probably the number of messages coming to our platform. Yeah, so thank you for this question again. I cannot be specific here. From our platform, it's not a problem. We can receive messages from, any amount. But generally when we, let's take for example virtual number service, when we get this virtual number from the MNOs, then we can, then basically they do some kind of restriction of how many messages we can receive. Again, this goes around 100, 150 MO messages per second. So let's say this is an average throughput for those numbers. Okay,
okay. I think Ransford will be happy with that. Julie asks whether our platform is capable of branching logic, so where a participant can answer A and be guided to a different set of questions than if the user was to answer B.
Okay, so again, thank you also for this question. This is a really good question. It can. This would be my first answer, and this is also something that we can do over the front end that I mentioned. But again, it also depends how complex the whole interaction will get. Maybe it will be too complex for our front end, but generally yes, it can be.
Okay, and I think that's all the time we have for questions right now. Anything that we have not addressed or anything that comes in later on, we will reply to in a separate follow-up email. So we'll address your question as you've asked it, and any follow-ups you may have to that as well. So yeah, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you very much, Philip.
Thank you very much, Tomislav, for being my host today.
Absolutely. And thank you all for joining us today. I hope this is informative for all of you, and I hope that any of your two-way campaigns in the future are hugely successful. Please follow our updates on social media, Infobits on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, so just search for Infobip. And please join us again for our next webinar. Take care, and until next time. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.